So, welcome to a new interview in the series Everyone's a Publisher, where we interview thought leaders in the field of content marketing and digital experience. And we are very happy to welcome Joni Lindes of Disguise today, who is our guest on the show. Welcome, Joni.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be here.
And maybe just to start things off, maybe you can introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what Disguise does.
Sure thing. So, as you have pointed out, my name is Joni, and I work as a content marketing manager for Disguise Technologies. So, Disguise is basically a technology platform for technologists and creatives to kind of, enable their biggest and wildest creative vision. So we're basically are specialized in kind of visual storytelling, and this can be anything. It can be from broadcast productions, it can be theater shows, this can be like live concerts, pretty much anything and everything you can think of. I think we're also powering some like fixed installations. So the Burj Khalifa, for example, the content mapped on that is powered by Disguise. So just a huge like broad range of creative projects.
Yeah. And I invite everybody to, we will show some pictures in this interview, but I invite everybody to visit your website because there are some stunning examples there of events you did, like the Olympics, all kinds of sporting events, concerts, theater shows, and really stunning imagery that you do. And you not only do the software to produce these experiences, but also the hardware and the training and I think you support the production as well. So it's the whole package that you provide. Yeah.
Yes. So basically, it's a technology platform, and we have a whole workflow. So we have very powerful hardware and these servers, which kind of, deliver amazing content for these productions. And then we also have our software, which is called Designer, which allows, our users to kind of pre-plan and pre-visualize their shows and kind of make changes and have this reflected across their production. And it kind of is with them all the way from beginning through to showtime.
And so you allow your clients and your customers to create great content that they can for their shows, etc. But today we're talking about the content you are producing. You are a content marketer yourself. So let's zoom on how Disguise uses content to reach their audiences and to create more impact for their products. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about who you are targeting with your content and what you do in marketing and what your challenges are, but as a general introduction.
Sure thing. So, Disguise's main audience and our target audience is, as I said, creative and technical teams that are behind these amazing projects. So it's basically anyone who wants to create a memorable experiences. So these can be the people designing the creative video, real-time content in the shows, as well as the technologists that are delivering this. As this is quite broad, there's just so many different sectors or industries that can take advantage of our technology. So our clients are in broadcast, film, live events, even stuff like theme parks, and education. And as I said, we've also been used for projection mapping projects. So the Expo 2020 Al Wasl Dome in Dubai is one of those examples. And the Burj Khalifa, as I said, is also another really good example. So yeah, just a huge broad audience that we're trying to target. And that means we need to kind of have, as marketers, we have to have something for everyone. And we want to make sure that we're appealing to everyone, and we're kind of drawing them in and making them see that they can use Disguise to kind of take their experiences to the next level. So yeah, so that's kind of what we're kind of aiming to do in marketing. We also, in the last 2 years, we launched this new solution, which is called extended reality. We call it Disguise XR. And this is kind of in the field of extended reality and virtual production, which is a brand new field that needs a lot of education as it's so new and it's so innovative. So we want to kind of make sure that our content and our marketing is kind of educational and it kind of benefits those that are in the field.
Yeah, and I like to talk about the extended reality in a minute, but maybe just to clarify because you say we have a very broad audience and a lot of sectors that we are targeting. But what is there really a big challenge for you in marketing regarding these audiences? Because I was looking at these videos and these use cases, and I thought, well, maybe this product is selling itself, because um, uh, when you want to do an event like this, that I can imagine everybody knows these guys, and they know when I want to do an event with this kind of imagery. Uh, they are knocking on your door. Do you really need the marketing to find new clients, or do you have other challenges? Maybe that's the question. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a really good question. So we're really lucky at Disguise. So it's great to work at Disguise because you get to be to see all these amazing projects and get to kind of work with people who are working on these amazing projects. So, for example, on our website, you would have seen that we have been in our technology has been used in productions for Katy Perry, Billie Eilish. Our software and hardware has been used for the Euros, the football tournament, the broadcast there, as well as the Olympics. So really, really exciting productions, and a great opportunity on the marketing team to kind of make sure that we publicize that as much as possible, and we kind of profile our partners' work as much as possible, as we like to kind of see the technology being used. We still need marketing. Marketing is a core component of the business. And what I really liked about working at Disguise was that as soon as I joined, it was very clear that at the C level, throughout the entire organization, marketing is clearly regarded as super important. And everyone is kind of driven to kind of support our goals and to kind of support us, and we are driven to kind of support sales and help them achieve their commercial goals. So it's really good to be part of a company that really relies on marketing. And again, we are driving a huge amount of business just because we have a multi-channel approach where we try and get our message across in as many channels as possible and to as many people as possible. And this kind of allows them to hear about Disguise and hear about the awesome work that our technology powers and that our partners and our clients are doing. So so it's a really big part of the business.
Yeah. And then reaching new clients, is it enough to project to display these use cases you have? Because I think they speak for themselves, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I love doing the case studies. The content team is hugely focused on case studies and talking about our clients' work. So and people love it as well. Like we see on our socials, people respond really positively to that. Everyone likes to be inspired by other people's work, and it's really great to be kind of part of this creative and technological. Sorry, it's really exciting to be part of this creative and technological kind of community of people who just are like interested in making the best experience possible. So yeah, I think it does kind of speak for itself. But then on the other hand, it's also about education. So a lot of our partners are really pushing the boundaries, and so are we, really, technology wise, in delivering kind of extended reality experiences and going into the next generation of what will experiences look like in the future. So this includes things like, for example, the Metaverse. What will experiences look like on the Metaverse, for example? So that means that it is our job as marketers to really educate our users and educate our community and make sure that anyone who hasn't heard about the work we do, or anyone who doesn't know or hasn't really explored this field, has a starting point and kind of can use our technology and use these techniques to take their productions to the next level.
Yeah, and it's part of the marketing team, because that was one of my questions. So this education aspect of your communication, you consider it to be part of your marketing team.
Yep. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So especially in terms of content. I think that with content, my main goal is to either inspire, educate, or entertain. our audiences. And if you're not really doing that, I don't think it would be something that would be of value. So we want to make sure that every kind of piece of content we push out is of value and is of value to our audiences and is reaching our end users in the best way. So education is a huge part of that, really.
Yeah. Okay. You already mentioned the metaverse. And when you look at the things you do, you can imagine that the metaverse is the next big stage for a solution like this, guys. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about that, how you see the metaverse, the opportunities it is going to bring you. And um, uh, you were also talking about the future of marketing, communication, visual storytelling, and the metaverse. Maybe you can give us a glimpse of what your ideas are about that.
Sure. So it's kind of really hard to describe what the metaverse will mean to everyone, because it's like how did you describe the internet before it happened, right? So basically, it's going to touch every level of experience we have. Any kind of thing that you want to do that you're doing now will be different because of the metaverse. So whether that is going to a concert or going shopping or whatever, there's so many different applications for the metaverse. And it's a really exciting place to be in. And then obviously disguise, our main goal is to connect people and kind of help people create amazing experiences. So of course, as a company, we are very interested in the metaverse, and we're interested in this as being the next level and the next generation of experiences to come. So so I think and as a content marketer, because it's such a new term, and because there's a lot of people wanting to know more about it, to be honest. It's, I think, right after Facebook announced Meta, the search terms for metaverse were just going through the roof. There's so many people who are interested in it and want to learn more. I think it's a really good opportunity to kind of start leading on the education side when it comes to the metaverse.
Yeah. And then we were also talking about the XR solution that you provide, and this stands for extended reality. I think that's very close to what you can see in the metaverse, but maybe you can explain me a little bit more, because I'm not the expert on this. So what is extended reality, and how does this relate to the metaverse?
Sure. So extended reality is basically anything that blurs the line between the physical and the virtual. So anything that takes from what you see here, which is a physical space, and takes you to the virtual space. So this is quite a broad term, but in production terms, it's basically when they have LED walls, basically. So when you would have green screen sets, right? Back in the day, or still now, you have green screen or blue screen sets on films, and then this allows visual effects artists to kind of create special effects and interesting graphics. What extended reality does is it takes that process out of post-production. So you're not putting in the visual effects after you've shot the scene. It takes those visual effects and puts it in while you are shooting the scene. So it takes graphics from graphics engines like Unreal Engine, which has been traditionally used in gaming, and projects, and like tools like Disguise take these graphics and then push it out on LED walls, and then these and these are like virtual scenes, and these virtual scenes get kind of fed to the camera, and then as the camera moves, the scene gets updated. So instead of, if you move a camera, for example, and you're moving a camera on me now, and I have a virtual background behind me, it will look two-dimensional, but because it's real time and Disguise allows for this data to be updated as the camera moves, it looks more three-dimensional. It looks very real. So many productions are already using this. We're seeing a lot of films being used in a lot of series as well, for like Amazon Prime and Netflix. They're starting to use this level of production. It was first made famous, I think, if you've watched Star Wars, The Mandalorian. So they kind of started using that. So it's a very exciting space, and there's still so much more to learn. so many people need to be trained. And a lot of visual effects artists who are starting their careers, they're starting to learn Unreal Engine, all these new tools, and Disguise as well. And it's also a key mission of our company to kind of get involved in educating them too.
Yeah. And when I imagine this metaverse, because I think this is very close to what the metaverse is as well, because in my opinion, but maybe I'm not right, but is that the metaverse is also a blend of the virtual world and the real world blended together in some way. So uh, if you see it like that, you could say that in some years, or maybe in some years, you could have like your whole surrounding is your new stage for Disguise as well. Now you have Disguise on broadcast and events and maybe on some landmarks, but then every company could create a Disguise XR stage anywhere in the world, and you could pass by in your metaverse world. Would be, even for an
Yeah.
old guy like me, be a fantastic experience, I guess. Yeah. So okay, very nice of you talking about that, and we'll probably hear a lot more about that later. Uh, we have some topics we always touch on these interviews, and since we're from Prepr, we are a data-driven company, so we also always ask the data-driven question. So maybe you can fill us in a little bit about how data-driven your marketing is, and maybe some trends you see there, and how you incorporate data in your day-to-day marketing operations.
Sure. So, one thing I really liked about joining Disguise and the marketing team at Disguise is when I got there, they were already extremely data driven. So everything we do, we track. So we use Pardot and we put tracking links everywhere. So we're doing a blog, we're doing a social post, we're tracking it, and we're making sure that we're tracking that customer journey from entry point through to when their business gets booked by the sales team, and we're tracking the entire customer journey, which really helps us kind of refine our marketing efforts, know what is working and what is not, right? And then we can kind of develop a better strategy, and it also helps us kind of ask for more, us make decisions when it comes to budgeting and what do we focus on, what do we focus on our time on. So it's hugely important to kind of use data, and then we use multiple platforms for this. So Google Analytics, we have someone who kind of helps us, and we do like monthly check-ins on Google Analytics to see what's happening on the website, what sections are performing and what sections are not. And then what can we do that? And I myself look at, like, on the content side, I look at what's performing and what's not. When it comes to choosing webinar topics, for instance, we're always looking at data and going, okay, which topics perform the best? What is getting the most leads through? When it comes to ebooks, white papers, all of that, we're extremely data driven, and we're always committed to following the data and going where that leads us. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. And the follow-up question always is: do you use this data also to personalize the experience of your customers and your visitors?
Sure. So I think that we personalize in terms of email marketing. I know our campaigns are quite personalized. We're also really looking into personalization in terms of regions and localization, because our audience is quite global. More and more people are using extended reality. I think we have around, well over 35 countries at this point using extended reality and using Disguise. So we want to make sure that we are appealing and we're catching new users in each region. So we do kind of make sure that our campaigns are specifically targeted to regions, also targeted to the vertical. So for example, the broadcast vertical has specific content needs, has specific things they are interested in. And then from a level above, from a content strategy perspective, I get the kind of the audience insights from our campaign team, and they tell me, which content is needed. And then I look at like Google Analytics and I see what content is driving results, and we kind of devise what kind of content we focus on from that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, we are I think nearing the end of our interview, but we're always ending with two more topics, and one of them we already touched on with the metaverse, and the XR solution you have, but maybe you can give us your idea about what the future of content marketing is in a few years' time.
Oh, that's quite an interesting question. So I think content marketing is still kind of a relatively new field. It's kind of only about like 10 or a bit years old. So it is. When I was young and then when I was in school, I didn't know there was a job called content marketing. So I think that like all kind of roles will evolve with time. And I think in terms of content marketing, um, we're going to get more and more data driven, because as more and more data becomes available. And then again, the metaverse, for example, is a huge opportunity for brands and marketers. Companies like Gucci and Ferrari, for example, are already doing kind of metaverse like experiences. So in terms of content creation, like that presents a whole new world of opportunity to kind of jump on and get involved in. So yeah, so you could be writing an ebook today, but then tomorrow, I don't know, you'd be creating a kind of world in the metaverse. You could be creating a video now. In the future, this could be all 3-dimensional. So yeah, I'm not sure what the future will hold, but I think it will be quite exciting. And I think my number one thing is I always try and make sure that I train as much as possible and I keep on learning every day. And I think that will kind of help. If you want to make sure your content is really on point, keeping up with trends and learning as you go is really helpful.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And we always end with a question about what are your main tips for people listening and watching in their content marketing strategy. What are some learnings that you would like to share that are valuable to our audience?
Sure. So I kind of have pretty much 3 main tips. So my first tip is to be collaborative. Your next content idea could be anywhere around you. So just kind of listen to people around you, listen to your sales teams, listen to your customers, listen to other people in the marketing team. Yeah, just keep an eye out for anything that's an opportunity. Yeah, so definitely be more collaborative and listen to others. My second tip is to use data wisely. So like I said, data is extremely important in terms of understanding what content you should do, what will be your next marketing move. So use it wisely, track everything you do, see where you're seeing results, and if you're not seeing results, change them. It's always good to approach things from a fail fast mentality. Try it, measure it. If it doesn't work, then try something different. And I think data is a really big important part of that. And then I think my third tip is really to have fun and be creative. I think content marketing is a really brilliant field because you can be extremely creative in your day to day. And I'm really lucky to be working in this field. So yeah, just have fun with it. And if there's something you think that is a bit crazy or a bit weird you want to do, just do it and see what happens.
Oh, I really like that. How you put these two tips together, because you have this very rational data driven tip, and then you say, okay, but just have fun and do things and see what works for you, and do this side by side, and then you have a great mix of things. So that's great. Okay, well, thank you very much. I think that was very interesting, and I'm really looking forward to the future of this guys in this metaverse, and I'm really wondering how fast we are going to see some real results there, because I think the metaverse is really something that's pretty distant for a lot of us still. But this could become quite big very soon, I guess. But I think you have a better idea of that than we have.
Yep. Okay,
Okay,
great. Sounds
thank
good.
you very much again.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day, and talk to you later.
Yep. Speak to you later. Thank you so much.